Hello and welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a bit how we can populate the tables that we've created with the information that we want to keep. Now, this is going to be a shorter episode since we're only going to be looking at how to insert values into your table. And like in previous episodes, I'm going to be using my own database that we have built around the company selling cars. But this is, of course, applicable to all manner of databases independent of what you choose to store inside of it. Now, let's dive into it. Now, 2 episodes ago, we learned how we can create tables in SQL and what information you need to be aware of when doing that. And then in the last episode, we learned how to alter these tables after they have been created. Now, it's time for us to include information into our databases and the tables. So firstly, we're going to be looking at the customer entity, and we're going to be entering 3 customers into that database today. Now, this is a small number, but we're going to start off small, and as we move forward, we will be populating the database with more and more information. Right, so let's start by looking at what columns we have chosen for our customer table over here on the left. As you can see, we got a customer ID, which is the primary key. It's an integer and it's a not null. Then we have a customer type, which has 15 characters bound to it, an organizational number, which is made up of numbers, and lastly, we have a foreign key that links us to user ID in another table. So let's have a look at what we can do here then. First of all, the statement that we're going to use is called insert into. And here we need to choose which table. So for us, it's going to be customer. And after this, we choose which values we want to put into it. So we want a customer type. We want an organizational number. Actually, let me go and see if I have any free in the users. There should be user ID. Right. Yes. Right, so we're going to do this now. The reason I'm not including customer ID here is because I've put this as an automatic increase. So independent of what we're going to put there, it's always going to be one more than the last. So that solves that for us. So here we're going to put in values. Actually, we're going to need a user ID. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to point the user ID to the last one here, Frank Brown, user ID 200. Right, so customer type is going to be private. Organizational number is going to be 7234. And user ID is going to be 200. And then we execute. So if we now do a look at what information we have within the customer table, like so, you'll see that we have a bunch of customers, private company, and at the bottom, we have a newly created customer, which is a private customer with the organizational numbers 7234, and it belongs to user ID 200. Now this is a duplicate, but this is because we didn't create a user first. If we were to do another table, we can do the users one. We are excluding the user ID since that's an auto increment as well. So we're going to do first name, last name, mobile phone, home phone, and street address, and a street number, as well as a zip code. And then values comes here. Now, what you can do if you want to is simply do like this. So maybe we put the, oh, I'm sorry. Whenever you use, it's worth to mention that whenever you put in values that has a non-numeric value, such as varchar here, you are going to need to use these single quotation marks to tell the database that this is text. So last name, then we have a mobile phone number, which is going to be like so, a home number, which is going to be like this, a street address, Fall Road, a street number, maybe 34C, and then lastly, a zip code, which is going to mean that we have to collect one from there. So we take 612. And then we can do this. Now, if you want to put in more values than one at the same time, you can simply just add the end parenthesis and then a comma, and then you can do a new line like this maybe. So maybe so and so. And then whenever you're done with however many you want to add, just execute. And now if we look into our users and scroll to the bottom, you're gonna see that Marcus Patrickson and Lisa Larson has now been added as 205 and 206. I don't know why it jumped over, probably because I've done something with the database before. But independent on how you do this, what you need to do, make sure is, first you tell the database that you want to insert something. So you want to insert and then where you want it to be done. So insert into, which table, what attributes you want to insert. And then you declare that here comes the values. And then these values is going to be matched in the order that you put these values inside of your insert into statement. So for instance, you cannot move the zip code way over here and expect the database to be able to say, oh, this is a zip code. No, 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 no. The zip code needs to be in the correct position at the end, or else it will not be entered as a zip code. Now, with that being said, I would like to thank you for watching today.